What a beautiful day. Oh, to take a walk outside. Really beautiful area. I'm planning to do these daily vlogs, or well, not daily vlogs, but I'm planning to do these vlogs again, where I'm just going to take a walk, going to take a stroll, and I'm going to talk into the camera about whatever I feel like talking about. It can be about anything, really. And I did those last year, and I pretty much did them back then as a way to kind of practice talking into the camera. And well, practice makes perfect. I still need a lot of practice, honestly. I always feel as if when I'm talking into the camera, I become like 30% dumber than I actually am. Especially when I have to talk in a language that is not my birth language. It's you have a lot of little hills here. It's pretty bad for your knees, actually. But oh well. On the other hand, it's pretty good for your god damn it, for your calves. Right. Yeah. I don't know. The problem with these vlogs is that I really don't have a subject. Or well, I don't always have a subject. It's pretty much just freestyling into the camera. But until I have a subject, just enjoy the nice scenery. It's really beautiful here. It's really close to home. I live in the most, what do you call it? Like, the Netherlands is pretty much known to be a very flat country, where there's really no altitude whatsoever. But where I live, there's actually, you have some little hills here and there. Actually, I live pretty close to the highest part of the Netherlands. I really shouldn't disclose too much about my personal information, because there are actually a few people that have threatened me on YouTube. Can you believe it? Like, people have threatened me. And it's usually people from the primal community, like 1 or 2 people from the primal community. Like, there was one guy that was really like, if I ever see you anywhere in Italy, I'm gonna fuck you up. Yeah, right. Don't come near Italy, or you're dead. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I haven't talked about the primal community in a while. I have been planning to do so. I mean, well, not really about the community, but well, actually, I wanted to do one video on the community, but I mostly, actually, my biggest problem with the primal or the carnivore community, the whole, well, the whole thing, is not really as much the diet, but it's the crazy shit next to it. It's just the weird beliefs that are correlated with the diet. And they say, like, yeah, no, it's not a religion. Carnivore diet is not a religion, but it's very obvious that there is a certain way of thinking that's linked to the diet itself. There are certain philosophies that are simply linked to that whole diet. So, I mean, you can call veganism a cult, but for the same reason I can call your diet a cult. And I'm not saying that everyone that does any diet is a cultish person. It's usually always that small little vocal minority that's pretty much ruining it for everyone else. But yeah, I've been planning to talk about them. I simply haven't really gotten to it. The things, like, I have so many things planned. And I actually want to talk a lot more about nutrition and my own nutrition. And I haven't even gotten to it. I'm still writing scripts, but I'm actually kind of busy at the moment. Well, especially if you're like me, doing like 4 or 5 full body workouts a week. I mean, that's really cutting into my time, but to me right now that is pretty important. I really am planning to get into the best shape of my life, which is going pretty good because I am already in the best shape of my life, and it only took a few months of training. I think that I started at the end of January. That's when I really started. Yeah, that's when I started, and I'm already heavier than I've ever been. I'm already more vital than I've ever been, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way that I look now. Actually, I should be really happy with the way that I look now because yeah, I mean, to me, like I had never really expected I would ever look like this, but apparently, yeah, I have been able to push my own limits. Well, I mean, that is to be expected if, like I said, you're going to do 3, 4, sometimes 5 full body workouts a week. I mean, that is of course really ridiculous, and I would not recommend most people to do that. You really shouldn't do that. That is, I don't think that most elite athletes do that much, and I can actually wonder if it is beneficial to do that much, but I'm at least certain that I'm not losing muscle over it. Like some people, they say, like, if you're going to train a lot, if you're going to train a hell of a lot, you're actually going to break down muscle and you're actually going to lose muscle mass. And that might be so. I don't doubt that that might be the case. But the threshold for that, you know, the point where that actually happens, is probably a lot higher than what you think. It might depend a little bit on age. Like I am actually like in my prime. I'm actually, well, actually maybe a little before my prime. But I am at the point where I am just producing so much testosterone, where I probably do recover way quicker from these things, and that's going pretty good. I mean, I have not gained any weight for the last, let me think. Actually, like my flex video was on 4 April. That was when I was 73 kilos. And now, more than 5 weeks later, I have not gained a single pound. No, actually no, I've gained 1 pound. I've gained 1 pound, so I'm 73.5 kilos now, around that weight. Maybe a little less. And I have gotten a lot leaner in that time. I have lost a lot of weight, clearly. So I've actually gained probably like a kilo of solid mass, which is, again, it's fucking, honestly, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, I wouldn't say like this is like steroid-like gains, but it's pretty damn close to it. And again, that can only, like I probably can only do that by just, you know, pushing the limits that far, just doing that much. Because otherwise I probably would not be able to do this, to reach this level. Like for me, the limiting factor has always been, you know, depending on how much I actually do. And now the limiting factor is really that there is a point where I just have to take rest and I have to recover. Because otherwise I'm, you know, like luckily I am aware where the limit is, and there is a limit for me. And in the past I think that I really wanted to go over that limit pretty quickly, which was the reason that I actually injured myself a few times pretty badly. Like last August I got pretty much the worst injury of my entire life, which was a small little tear in my glute, actually above my glute, so in my lower back. And I have broken my arm. I have you know, I've broken my toe as well, but this was way worse. This pretty much crippled me for almost 2 months. And even after that, like, it was still pretty hard to deal with this. It was not that little, like it was a somewhat significant tear, I guess. And wow, you really notice just how fucked up it is once you have a tear in your lower back. Like, I doubt that there really is a place that is a worse place where you can really get an injury. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. I'm gonna walk back now. I mean, that path right there, it isn't that interesting. So yeah, that was my worst injury. And why did I get that? I got that because Athlete X actually talked about it not too long ago. If you are going to try to go too hard, especially for a athlete that is just trying to get back to his peak, you are going to depend a lot on compensation strength. Basically what you're going to do is, like, you can have perfect form for every exercise that you do, but for example, if you're going to deadlift, instead of only using your back and your hamstrings, you're also going to use well, you know, whatever, like you might actually use I have not really a good example for it, but basically the point is, like, you're going to use muscles that you're not really supposed to be using for that exercise, and that is not form related. That's just really based on the fact that if you're going to train and you're going to pull too hard with too heavy weights, that you're going to compensate with other muscles. So you're not really as well able to isolate the muscles that you're supposed to isolate. And well, I guess a good example is, like, you know, if you're really going to try to pull or push a really heavy weight, like, usually you would only use a few muscles to do that, right? If the weight isn't too heavy. But if you are going to push against a weight that is just so much more heavy, then you are going to contract just so much more muscle fibers, and yeah, it becomes a very yeah, I mean, there really is no balance at that point, and you're more likely to injure yourself. So yeah, I'm not going to make that mistake anymore, which is also the reason that right now I'm not really doing much of strength training. I'm doing some strength training for my upper body right now, but nothing for my lower body, which, you know, that is actually very important, but it's just not in my program right now. Yeah, I don't know. I'm already talking almost 30 minutes, and I doubt, like, that many people really watch vlogs like these anyway. So yeah, whatever. Thanks for watching, and I am planning to do these things more often. Just small little talks about whatever. Thanks for watching. Oh.